called A Letter from the Incredible Hulk to Dr. Jean Grey. My love, right now it is as if the moon is on fire, its own gamma bomb in the sky. I have read stories about how people say they can always hear the voices of their love in their head when they are missing them. I used to think I was that kind of crazy too. I know no woman wants to hear a man talk about past loves, but you cannot truly understand the depths of my irradiated heart without this explanation. Even in her helplessness, it would seem that Betty always tried too hard to be just like me, to have the same failings and scars, as if our similarities would be the immortality our love needed to remain. What she could not understand, beloved, is that the very thing you want absent from yourself is not something you wish to see in anyone else. This is why we battled, why we fought like we could beat the defects from our DNA and be normal. Being the only two people like this on the planet never meant we should have stayed lovers. Maybe it means we will always be enemies. That she will always search me out to challenge me back into the man who loved science so much before he became it. In knowing this, you should understand that I love about you is your ability to end me, that with a thought, a gesture, a summoning, you can break me down to all my atoms, let me dissipate into the ether as if I was never here. We would never battle or scar or struggle against this great unsolvable problem. You are the only woman who makes me vulnerable, the only one who does not look into my eyes and see a thing to fear, who knows that you don't have to look like a monster to actually be one. And then that's what it's about, the greatest green of all. Money. Overdrawn. If you say that friendship is like a bank account, you should learn no one ever keeps an accurate register in their head, and you have clearly not been keeping track the way you should have. But I am no professor in finance, no CPA in camaraderie, no stockbroker of your soul. I only know the heft and weight of kindness, the lifting and leaning sensation of support. I know the grasp of love and the lightness of infatuation, but also I know empty, I know barren, I know the true giving, I know negative numbers. So don't use an analogy as if you are trying to explain why everything is my fault. Do not rely on past favors as a scoreboard you were only building up because you had nothing else to point at to prove your loyalty. A true friend will ask you, how can I make this better for you? And if you are paying attention, you'll learn that it shouldn't cost you anything at all. When you bury your mother in July and you finally make your way back there in September, you expect to see the grass has grown over the biggest scar you will ever have. But standing there in that same place where you could not deny that one of your worst fears has come true, you wish this blemish on the planet was visible to everyone. You want the world to hurt just as much. When you come back in November and the frost has not yet killed the ground, you are angrier that the grass has grown back. That aside from her name in bronze, it is like the world is saying the same thing to you as all the other people who do not understand why you are still sad. Just get over it already. When you have not looked back in years and your sister sends you pictures every time she visits, showing some new flower arrangement or holiday display, you wonder where this origin of decorating death came from. You have decided that your mother is not there, that the love you still feel for her is not tracked by how often you stand on a spot that bears her name, that no amount of flowers left to rot, no Christmas wreath or Easter cross, no Mother's Day bouquet will ever reach her again. And she will always be that spot in your chest, that stretch of dirt that will never grow grass again. And this is one of my favorites. And it covers the glowing side of the scene, but not so much the breath. It's called On Point. I love to watch dancing. It is one of my most favorite art forms. Poets and singers, they have it easy. They just tell you how they feel. But a dancer, they don't have that luxury. They have to use their entire body to make you understand every emotion that exists. I am most enamored with ballet. The conditioning and sacrifice is something to be admired, but I think the thing I am most moved by are the shoes. Have you ever watched how they take a brand new shiny pair of pointe shoes and quite literally destroy them in order to be able to dance on them? They rip and bend them, break the toe box, even cut the soles with a razor for traction. Ballet dancers cannot dance properly unless their shoes are broken. You were born with a new pointe shoe in your chest, a shiny pink vessel capable of delivering so much beauty. You have done things in your life to crack it, to rip and bend it. At times, you have cut your soul. You have used it to experience every emotion that exists. How often have you lamented the events that have led to these wounds? If your heart is a ballet shoe, accept every little flaw you have earned, because you cannot love properly unless you've been broken.